Greetings and salutations, Focus Up family. Welcome to the August 23, 2024 installment of the Focus Up Show. We thank you for tuning in with us live every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on YouTube and various other platforms, or catching up with us live. Catching up with us on replay. And we ask that you click that like, that subscribe, that bell, and share to support and maintain your weekly Focus Up fix. I am Mr. Nice Guy. Nice as in the word Saint spelled backwards. And today, my co-hosts are Brother Walk, host of Sex Talk with Walk, every Thursday at 9 p.m. We got Brother Afro Agnostics, star of Afro Agnostics on TikTok and YouTube and various other videos. We got Student X, star of Mutant Politics. And we got, that guy over there. He's over here. This guy, he's the boss man, Mr. Floyd X. What's going on with you, sir? And then this guy over here. This is the infamous El Pooh, star of Spin That Back. Now, it's not going to be in the Spin That Back today. No Mutant Politics. So it's just going to be this one show. So, and enjoy it and savor it. So what's going on with you, Brother Walk? How you doing there, sir?
I'm chilling. Just ready to do the show. Same old. Good week. Productive, prosperous. Ready to rock and roll, fellas.
Now, I'd like to send out a special shout out to First Lady J. She's still not back yet, but sister, we holding it down for you. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you, sister. And we definitely need your female input because the testosterone is going to be crazy in your absence. But Brother Alpha Agnostics, what's going on with you, sir?
Oh man, I'm just getting smarter and smarter every day, getting this intellectual power. I'm spending $500 a pop, and my brain all is gone. All self-healing is taking place. So yeah. What up, though?
Yeah, that happened with the more you watch the Focus Up show, the smarter you get.
That's what's up. True. To the next, my brother. What's going on with you, sir?
Oh man, chilling, brothers. Just excited to have a conversation with you all, and I do agree, man. We definitely need a female perspective on here right now. Afro is the closest we got. You know what I mean? We definitely need. No, that's not. That's not slight. Brother represents and holds it down. You know what I mean? I'm being funny. My brother represents. You know what I mean?
It's true, though. It's true. Yeah.
And he's proud of it. Don't be mad.
Indeed. It's not an insult to me,
Punched in the back of the head for no reason.
Exactly.
Shout out to Cram Carb, the sixth out there in Florida. That's right. He said Mark Cram Carb. He's like, yeah, that's messed up. That was hilarious, though.
Cram Carb.
There's all love on here, Mark Cram Carb. There's all love around here, but trust me, all love.
Mr. Boss Man, what's going on with you, sir? My stomach is hurting.
Chilling, man. Get ready to go on vacation. I'm about to go to Greece and go on the cruise with my wife in Greece, man. I'm looking forward to it. So y'all not gonna see me for the next 2 weeks. I'm gonna be having my feet kicked up in Greece.
All right. The island, you're gonna take a journey to the islands of Lesbos. You know what I mean, and check out what that is and everything. And Crete, you know what I mean? Bro, Greece is ancient. You know what I mean?
That's what it's called.
Wow.
Okay.
That's the name of it.
Yeah, it's literally the island of Lesbos.
He ain't been out of Compton, Student X. Yeah, that's the project.
Infamous El Pooh, what's going on with you, sir?
Blessed and happy to be here once again. Let's go.
All right, let's get to the get. Let's start it off. First thing we're going to talk about tomorrow is going to be Mamba Day. So happy Mamba Day. That's August 24th, and that's basically the 8 and 24. That was from his jerseys, first jersey, first half of his career with the Lakers. He wore number 8. Second half of his career, he wore number 24. So we celebrate, the things that he exemplified, at least on the court and, in preparation for the game. So you talk about that Mamba mentality, his contribution to Los Angeles and particularly the Lakers, 5 chips. So, that's what's up. That's what's up.
Salute to the Mamba.
Bro, not only just salute, man. I mean, one of the things that to this day hurt my feelings, man, is that brother, we didn't continue to see, what he was going to do. You know what I mean? I think there was so much great things he was doing. And then speaking in terms of representing, women and sisters, being the so-called girl dad and everything, and how he was holding down that space and promoting it as well. You guys show love there too as well. So, man, R.I.P. the Kobe Bryant, bro, and of course, our little sister, how you say this sister's name? Giovanna.
Gigi.
Yeah.
Gigi Bryant.
All right, so that having been said, and that's one tribute, and then we got another tribute to the great Nipsey Hussle, another Los Angeles legend, a person that was on the verge of doing great things. I mean, you found out more, at least I found out more, after his passing. But I mean, he wasn't just some rapper, just some guy. That was a person who really had a community objectives, and he was doing some things. So his life was tragically cut short. But they're going to be temporarily renaming the Hyde Park station over there by Crenshaw and Slauson as the Nipsey Hussle Terminal, I believe. And I think they're putting out like 20,000 tap cards that basically have his picture on of them. One of them's picture is basically by the street. And another one, the picture is him like actually on the metro, because they're saying they're playing up the fact that he used to take the metro to go to the studio and do his work. So again, shout out to the legend of Nipsey Hussle. Condolences to all of that. Go ahead. I was
going to say real quick, Andre Ward was a big thing in Oakland. The first to win the gold in like decades in 2005. So, we would go, that was, to go to his fights and stuff. And that was the first time I saw Nipsey Hussle perform. I mean, I didn't know who he was. He was so local. It was so out California. It was, everybody stood up. It was great. I mean, it was like even though he was from the other part of California, but it seemed like a strong Californian movement behind him. So,
yeah. No, Nipsey was real, man. I can remember exactly where I was when I found out that brother was there. And what was wild is I already had enough, after, MJ dropped, and then we lost Prince, and I felt like, there was some sort of, conspiracy, behind, both those. And then when I heard Nipsey had got her, I was inside a BJ's restaurant, Elk Grove, I was having a meeting with this gentleman, and I snapped, man. I just started, trying to get into it with any damn white person around, because I felt like it was like, something was going on, this brother, and then come to find out, it could have been that, but I mean, my God, bro, it's just, RIP Nipsey, man. He was doing some things, man. RIP Nipsey Hussle.
Definitely a major loss to the city of Los Angeles, of course, homegrown. And but for them to temporarily, my former employer, Metro, had that as a temporary, that should be permanent Nipsey Hussle right there. I'm going down there Tuesday. I'm gonna take a picture there just to, capture the moment. Of course, when he passed, I couldn't wait to get down there just to pay homage to that brother, very respectable brother. And one of my greatest moments of Nipsey Hussle is when he slapped that dude when they was trying to park the car. He gave him the 6 Nipsey slap. Yeah. Salute. Recipe.
That was the moment for me too, Walt. Talk reckless, get the hand. What were you about to say, infamous El Pooh?
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, if you find yourself here at this station, just know you ain't in Hollywood.
Conduct yourself accordingly. So what we have up next, we have Target boycott. So people talking about how some of these things don't matter, but Afro agnostics, you give us a little information. What's been going on with this Target boycott?
Okay, just for the audience out there, this boycott is inextricably tied into the connected to the Black Lives Matter movement. And we were talking before how, you can have centuries of being the same, but then suddenly you have a movement and you have this window of change within 1 to 10 years. And Black Lives Matter movement was kind of snowballing to that effect. So just to kind of give the context to it, Black businesses, during the time of Black Lives Matter, 2015, 16 to 2020, they increased to like 60%. Black women-owned businesses increased 20%. So these are just some of the gains and how things are redistributed. Black HBCU attendance and all that went up. So, and a lot of companies started to make changes that directed resources more towards DEI and things that benefited, minority and marginalized groups. So part of that change was Target. They came on the scene, said they was going to do this, they was going to do that. Some of the things they said they would do would make 20% of their team Black, their executive team, that they would reach out and spend $2 billion with Black-owned businesses, 500 with Black-owned, get 500 plus Black-owned brands to support, and a bunch of other things, right? The President-elect Trump, they started backtracking on all these things because, there was like this way out to not now because MAGA was anti-DEI. So basically in March, they launched the beginnings of a boycott, and it really snowballed to it was only, I think, a month during that time, but now it's just ongoing. Has it been successful? We've seen a drop in the sales and revenue of Target, not nearly as close as the Bud Light campaign, anti-trans campaign. And I think it has a lot to do with Black buying power versus white buying power. But, other than that, some of the criticisms are, this is not local. I mean, Target is not local. Target is global. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if they have losses here, they can just increase sales over here. So, maybe we can consider being more strategic when we do boycotts. But it's, seems a 21 drop in sales or net income. I think that's really big. So,
and they're having a lot of layoffs at Target throughout the country. I don't know if it's the boycott or not. I'm not particularly participating in the boycott. I bought this from Target a few days ago. It was 50 cents. But I'm just saying, like, it might be having an effect. It's like in Indianapolis, it's like over 200 jobs at one particular Target. Like, so maybe I'm not researching like that, but yeah, maybe it might be having an effect. Target is losing money.
Yeah, look, the one thing I want to say is I want to commend Afro on, and because people is, just in case you mistook my earlier comments as some type of slight, I got nothing but respect for this brother. Let me tell you this, and I could also see, I could tell, correct me if I'm wrong, Afro, but I feel like now you step into, the modern times and you're starting to incorporate more, AI into your research, because I feel like it's more complete, more dynamic, versus emotional. And you're absolutely right in terms of the boycott. You can't even compare the Target, a DEI boycott to the Bud Light boycott, at all, because the numbers is completely different. First few weeks, 11 to 21%, the 25 overall percent, loss in the Bud Light, and then of course Target was a 5.4% in that same period of time. The financial impact, 395 million in U.S. sales in 2003, dropped from 1 to 3. In terms of U.S. beer sales by 2024. Target, they recovered by Q3, Q4, no permanent market share. The one thing I will give in terms of the comparing apples to apples is that with Target, you're dealing with a more diverse product range. So, versus with Bud Light, that's just one single SKU, so, it's not necessarily apples to apples. But I would say, that this is, like how the most honorable Elijah Muhammad would say, like when we would do, someone would do something good and make a, an impact, he would give you one of these. You know what I mean? That's it. You know what I mean? And that's what it is.
I got one for him too.
Hey. But what I would like to see is that how this could transform into something more substantial, something more, that relevant, impactful,
Let me comment on that. I'm saying one reason I think that is not having the impact, one, is because Black people don't have the buying power of white people. That's why I was saying that, if you, boycotts, like for instance, when we think of boycotts, we think of the MIA, the Montgomery bus boycott, which was effective. It took 13 months. But that bus company was local and you could drive them out. But with these global conglomerates, it's bigger. And, white people have more money, more buying power than Black people. they can't really make necessarily an impact on the global institution like Target.
And let me clarify, I just looked it up. Target is $47 billion company, but like $15 billion company. So, you know, it's a big difference. Yeah. So that having been said.
Wait, hold on. Let me add one more thing real quick, just to push back on that. So yes, of course, black buying power, you know, factors in, but I would say like also, you know, the marketing, if you will, like, you know, with the Bud Light, you saw these dramatic type of stunts and some more celebrity involvement. While with Target, there was like physical threats to stores, you know what I mean, threats of violence, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean, you know, it just was, you know, different strategies.
Have you seen a study on the amount of threats for each campaign? Because I haven't seen one. Have you? You did a study on the number of threats?
I haven't saw a study. I'm just going off what I recall seeing off social media and the different, you know, the different memes.
That might be a case of confirmation bias, selective bias, and what you're seeing, your challenge, your algorithm, and also
your social media.
I'm just saying from my perspective, bro, that was not scientific, you know.
I need to get a study on that because I don't think, and I wouldn't use that.
He conceded that it was not scientific, and he said
word on the street is.
So that having been said, let's pivot to the next thing. So that was the one update. I believe that there was another update about alligator Alcatraz, correct? Yeah. So regarding alligator Alcatraz, let me see what it said. Is no new detainees can be brought to the alligator Alcatraz, which the federal judge is effectively shutting down. So, you know, the cute little, their cute little prison thing, that thing is coming to an end. And I definitely agree, good. But, you know, that's what's up.
Word. Shut them down. Shit.
Man, it's crazy, man. You got an army of masked white men running around the country. I mean, equal funding almost to the Marines, the army of these white men running around the United States catching black and brown people. You know what I'm saying?
It's not just color white men, bro. They've been recruiting lots of Latinos as well.
Without due process,
and others, black
and brown people. It's majority black and brown people.
Well, he's about to talk about who they're capturing. Yeah, he's talking about who you're recruiting. So yeah, they got Dean Cain.
And disproportionately black in some places. Disproportionately black in some places. Yeah.
No,
so, you know.
No. Like, it's definitely some BS. It's not what voters signed up for. You know, I mean, that's for sure. And a lot of people do not appreciate it, but it's just like anything else, you know, when you have like a lot of, you know, people in the middle, you know, they're basically like, oh, man, that's messed up. But, you know, life goes on, you know what I'm saying? There's no sort of effort that's organized like how it was against Bud Light to change the reality, you know what I mean? And so, you know, that's a reality that is here and present.
I don't understand what that means. Don't resist injustice. I'm not clear. What's your conclusion?
You know what I mean? Nobody making no moves to change things about the people getting what y'all say illegally deported and sent to these prisons.
That's not true.
Nobody on the show is doing nothing different. That's what I think it means.
Well, I can't say that, you know what I mean? Because I know I'm involved in some efforts and whatnot. I'm sure Afro was involved in some efforts, but what I was saying is that in terms of our lighter skin compadres, you know, being white folks, you know, generally speaking, I've encountered many who is like, man, this is messed up and emotional about it, you know, but outside of being emotional about it, there's not like an effort, you know, like there was organized against Bud Light to not spend your money in a certain type of way to really express your dissatisfaction on the situation. You know, I don't see that.
Where do you not spend money to support ICE?
Yeah, there is an effort. I mean, there are organizations that are working to get ICE shut down. ICE is not that old. ICE has just started in 2004 or something like that, trying to get ICE shut down, trying to get ICE defunded. There's resistance on the street. Experienced in LA.
Mayor Bass.
There's been some form of ICE for a long time, though, bro. We always heard about immigration growing up.
No, ICE is new. ICE is new.
He said he just means what they do. He just means the thing that the what they serve, what they accomplish. No. There's been some other thing like that, but you're talking about organization.
What does ICE stand for, though?
It stands
immigration,
for
custody.
Okay, there you go. Immigration they've been enforcing immigration for years and years, bro. Come on now.
No, I'm saying ICE represents an escalation of that because they created a whole army.
I mean, that's what it is, and it's well funded too. They just got how many billions?
There go Big Cuz.
Right.
I thought he was blocked. Thought he was blocked, man. You gave Walk the power. I'm like, we ain't seen Big Cuz. What's going on? But anyways, let's pivot from that.
Just got off the block.
You said what'd you say, nice guy? That was a perfect intro. You said let's pivot.
Yeah, let's pivot to Dr. Umar.
Dr. Umar did a pivot. Dr. Umar pivoted from the school to an escort. Let me show you my title real quick. $500 FDMG escort. I'm a $500 escort. Y'all want let me show y'all the video. Let me show y'all the video of what we're talking about so y'all can get a good understanding of what we're talking about here. Where's Dr. Umar?
Coming out for the ladies is called Lunch with the Doctor. It's called Lunch with the Doctor. You make a $500 donation to FDMG Academy, ladies. $500 donation to FDMG Academy, and you get a free lunch with Dr. Umar, restaurant of your choice in the state of Wilmington, Delaware. I said we got a new program called Lunch with Dr. Umar. Private lunch. Ladies, you got to donate $500 to the FDMG Academy, and I will take you to lunch, private lunch, any restaurant you want in the state of Delaware. It's called Lunch with the Doctor, and it costs you $500. You don't pay for the lunch. I pay for the lunch. Any restaurant in the state of Delaware. Oh, yes. Brothers, don't hate. We got to stop hating. Brothers, we got to stop hating. Don't hate, my ninja, because if I ask your wife if she want that luncheon, if I ask your wife if she want that luncheon, if I ask your baby mom, do she want that luncheon with the doctor, we know what she gonna say, ninja.
All right, ladies. I know y'all can't wait, can't resist. $500 to go on a dinner date with Dr. Umar. You don't have to pay for it. Just donate $500 to the school. That's never going to get built.
You don't have to pay for it. Just pay $500. Oh yeah,
This
that
is
sounds
sad.
great.
Donate to the school.
Go ahead,
Donate to the school. Go ahead, Walt.
This is sad that my brother Dr. Umar has come to this. A man I respect it and have donated to the FDMG schools many times. I've donated I think about $500 for real. But this is sad to see this happening. I hope it's a turnaround, but it don't seem likely. So, yo, don't get that nigga another dime. Period. Shit, the rest of that day might have to arrest this nigga.
I know you got something to say about the prince of panhandling.
Yeah, man. I remember we did the State of Black Oakland event in downtown Oakland. We brought 500 people out, and this one lady, this one sister was quoting him, and it was, and I was like, and I remember she was kept advocating for these different committees we had. She wanted to implement something that he was talking about. But anyway, man, I know he was narcissistic and was incompetent, a long time ago. And sometimes the two are interrelated. Narcissism, he admitted to having ADHD. I'm not qualified to diagnose, but his father had even mentioned just the same. So, I mean, the brother is mentally ill, but he's also a con man, a scam. And I'm glad that Black people are starting to see it now. This is just a blatant example. You know what I'm saying? It's just in your face, man. He gave Pan-Africanism a bad look, took Black people's money. It was so obviously a scam to me because I put together a school of social justice and community development in East Oakland. So I know he has no idea what he's talking about. Not even and it's part of his disorganization. He's not competent. He's scattered.
Y'all both doing it at the same
That's a horn for Brother Afro. He put together a school in Oakland. Salute to that brother. Go ahead. You finish your point, brother?
Yes, sir.
Student next, you got something to say about this, brother?
Yeah, bro, not much. I agree with Afro that, it was clear from the gate to me, not because I put together a school, but, I just saw signs and signals of the, I understood what the grift was, who were the grifters, what were some of the strategies and tactics they were promoting, and how they were kind of organizing. And so I felt that the brother just wasn't, actual and factual, but you know, hey, I think there's others that's going to be exposed, you know, in the near future. You know, yes. I think we're in that time of revelation, you know, so we'll see what happens.
Oh boy, my son-in-law is probably going to be hurt because I can't tell you how many arguments and debates we had over Dr. Umar. And I'll say this, you know, I'm not going to just call him a scammer. I just think that he was clearly incompetent, bit off more than he could chew. I had the same situation done with the pastor of my church. You know, he just was like, you know, hey, I got this nice little church here or whatever, but I got these designs for this mega church. And I mean, he just went about it the whole wrong way, went down in flames, and just, you know, the bottom line is you can't just roll over and just do something. You know, at some point you need to hire some competent people to competent people in construction, competent people that know what licensing. You know, if you're going to do a school, you need to go get the people that can actually get a school done, not just speaking about it, but being about it. So,
but look at that. Look how that. Look what at the infantile mentality of that. Like, it's like when we were kids. You know how you'd be like, "I'm a this, you be this," and you know you create these characters with your toys, and you have like no steps in between, no short term, midterm. Like your brain is just, man.
Hey, hold that. We're gonna go to you. You talk about this mentality. This is gonna show up in the next segment with Amanda Seals. But go ahead, Elpo. You got something to say about this?
I just want to know if he's building a school and everything. What the hell is he doing in Africa right now? And well, when he was in Africa, you know, I think he might have came back, but
and when does he have to make some money? He got to go on some dates. He got some hot dates coming up.
Exactly. And when you got time to work on the school if you're going on lunches and everything?
Got some social media tour on Drewski's show, man, bro. You can't run a school, man. You're not getting sleep. You sleep deprived. You're nonstop on that school. There's no rest.
He don't have a team. He's nobody else around him. There's no one around him.
Everything. Yeah, he said he did
He's
the floor.
By himself.
He built the
let that boy go work the track. Let him go work the track and let it be. You know what I'm saying? Lead the brother.
He's the principal. He's the teacher.
Yep. He's accountable to no one. Accountable to no one. I do what I want when I want. It's gonna take as long as I want it to take. That's how he look at it. It's gonna take as long as I want to take to build this school. And I forget somebody was saying that they children then grew up, graduated high school, and went to college, and he's still talking about building a school. Get out of here, man. Dr. Umar, you gotta go, bro. You gotta go. Get out of here.
Hey, I don't want to see you no more. I got a real prediction. I think he's gonna get brought up on some charges. Not too late, not too soon for now.
Probably. And I'm not celebrating the downfall of a black man, but you know,
I'm not either. But I think he's scamming.
Accountability. I respect accountability. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So
it's disrespectful. Go ahead.
You want to
unaccountable people get exposed. I mean, that's
100%. 100%. You want to do the break or go into Amanda Seals?
We go to commercials real quick. La Brea Trucking for all of your trucking needs. East Coast to West Coast, West Coast to East Coast, North to South, South to West. And the brother, I just found out today, he said, if you purchase a delivery for $500 more, he'll take you to lunch. La Brea Trucking. You want to go to lunch with him? $500.
That's gobealive.org. Go get you some of that black honey. And if you want it in person, go to the Petty Vice in Venice or to the Afro City Marketplace. And if you got an extra $500, no, I'm saying. Shout out to
Turn up the dial, it's 10:30. Be back. Spin that back show, all the classics on track. From 79 to 99, we're crossing the gap. Album reviews, little known facts, hip hop intact. Saturday mornings.
Spin that back show, Saturday mornings, 10:30 after the Focus Up show, but we won't be on this week. Try us back next week. But go on to the YouTube channel and check us out. Some good stuff there.
Hey, you got to tell them for $500.
Oh yeah, for $500, you know what you can get.
For $500, Jaywalk will bring sex talk with Walk back. Score Bar and Lounge, Sacramento, California, 7123 Franklin Boulevard. Football season starts next week. Go watch the opening games. Go check it out. Watch football. They got Raiders fans and 49ers fans up there. So go up there if you're one of those and you can hang out with your crowd.
And for $500 right down the street, you can get you.
Right. $500 gets you a lot.
Right. Focus Up Show every Saturday, 9 a.m. We've been at this for 3 or 5 years now or something like that. Salute to all the Focus Up Show members, the alumni. Everybody on this show is greatly appreciated. Special salute to Mr. Nice Guy. Thank you for being such a soldier and a diligent manager of the show. Greatly appreciated. We got Student X, it's a diligent, hardworking escort finding information. Brother Afro Agnostic, salute, empowering the women and making sure that they are respected and represented. And then we got this ass.
Win.
Just joking. We have Mr. Walk, Focus Up founding member, Mr. Walk, and then we got Brother El Poo. Salute to El Poo. He been a day one rocket from day one. El Poo. Salute to all the Focus Up Show members. We greatly appreciate you. We appreciate the viewers. We got Brother Carmex. We got student what's the brother name? Mark Cram number 6. Then we got
B Grader.
Big Cuz.
Got B Grader. B Grader.
B Grader. Salute to brother B Grader.
If you had that donate button, we could have been getting $500, man. But still,
just like that. But thank all of y'all. Thank everybody. We appreciate you.
Wait, I want to say something. Wait, thank everybody, but I do want to say this. Nobody still has topped my numbers of the guests that I brought them. Stop playing. Yeah. What up, buddy Bud? When you coming back on, brother?
Buddy Bud, salute to
y'all.
Salute to Buddy Bud, for real.
Yeah.
Hey, so that having been said, let's get into this 20 versus 1. Amanda Stills, political activist. Go ahead, set it up.
I'm gonna play the clip. There's no video. She is some way. She is in the way she is, but she's out there. She's active. Let me play the clip. Where's it at? Okay, there's no video. It's just the audio. So just check it out, and then we'll speak about it.
I agree that reparations are necessary. I think the most important thing that's necessary right now for the Black community would be the stopping of violence, especially Black-on-Black violence. I don't see how reparations is going to solve anything. You can give everyone here like a $50,000, especially people that are in the streets who are committing violent crimes consistently, a $50,000 check. It's not going to fix anything.
But why should people who are sitting at home playing video games, smoking marijuana,
are you sitting at home playing a video game? Are you sitting at home playing a video game?
The people that they're wanting
Am
reparations
I sitting at home playing a video game? No.
The people
and I don't know I don't know who these people are that you're talking about, because the majority of the Black community is not sitting at home playing video games.
The majority of the Black
Where are
community
you getting
is doing
that
a lot
statistic?
of things.
Where are you getting that statistic?
Who's killed more Black people, the Klan or us?
I would like to continue my statement. I let you speak uninterrupted.
Your claim about Black-on-Black crime, I really do believe, and I think a lot of people here do believe, especially based off of personal experiences and everything, that it is just lack of accountability. In the Black community, we need to start taking responsibility for our actions and stop pointing our fingers at other people.
Real quick. In somebody on Facebook, somebody posted a summary of everything that happened. Let me show y'all the summary. That's what it was.
You don't have to.
That's what it was.
No one cares.
That's what it was. It was a. Go ahead. You want to speak on it? Walk what?
I think he's on delay. He laughed.
I'm gonna put this analogy. This was like my favorite female superhero, Black Widow, facing the elite league of coons. That's what this was. And it was every coon was trying to out-coon the other one. They was just going by old ass Republican talking points over and over, repeating it over and over. Ding, ding, yeah. Salute to that sister. I don't know when she became an activist.
She's like, she's an activist now. You know, it starts at some point. And I'm gonna tell you, you're right. Radical. And first of all, I take issue with her talking about, you know, being home and playing video games, because, you know, I be at home and be playing video games, and I still do all the other stuff I do. So that's all I got to say. And you know, so there ain't nothing wrong with being home and playing video games. But yeah, you're right. These dudes, I mean, they were so uptight, and it's like they are coming from a place where all they got to say is just that Black people are terrible. Black people are the ones that kill. We're the ones that broken. Our culture's messed up. We're the cause for all of this stuff, even though there have been mitigating factors that involve with all of this stuff. It's a ridiculous position to take. The fact of the matter is, look, we got to do what we got to do. We 100% need to be accountable, step up and do what we got to do, but we got to hold them accountable too. You can do two things at once. You know what I'm saying? So that's what the issue was. What you got to say about this Afro-agnostics?
Well, we got to highlight his brother Afro-agnostic. Let me put his name up there. Look at this Afro-agnostic, the Black conservative. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, you killed one because I'm no longer conservative, brother.
I've been watching Jubilee though. I've been watching Jubilee for a little bit, and this one I really like because Amanda showed a lot of negritude. You know, in her facial expression, her reactions that reflect the consensus amongst Black people when it comes to these Black conservative perspectives. You know, she really and you know, which are based on self-hate, ignorance, and presuppose Black deficiency. They're all based on self-hate and ignorance, and they presuppose some deficiency, something that Black people are doing or not doing. That's always the cause. It is never anything else. And, you know, their obsession with Black on Black crime, which is like a racial euphemism. Like, you selectively apply that. And then, you know, just lastly, man, what I really like about this thing is that it exposed the thing, their logic is the same, ran down, silly, self-hating arguments. They're baseless. They're based in myth. Like the one brother was saying, I don't think over-policing and unfunding is the cause of Black on Black crime. It's fatherlessness. Any study that you see, the CDC did a study on fatherlessness, and Black people are not, Black people, 6% of men in the home raising their kids, first of all. And the ones that are not in the home, Black people on average are in their children's lives more than white people and Hispanic people. That's so like you're not even going on the data what the information says. And then
salute to the Black man. Come on, man.
Oh yeah, salute to the Black man. The last part, and the leading cause of that small fraction that are not in the home is what? Incarceration, which is the result of over policing, which goes back to her point in the beginning. But they're just so, you know, just so biased. They're just so self-hating.
All right, Student X, we know you're chomping at the bit, brother. Go ahead and say what you got to say.
Yeah, no, it's not necessarily chopping at the bit. You know, I would say that, you know, like so many in our community, we share more in common than what we, you know, share differently, you know, and the people that were, you know, going against Ms. Sills in that debate, I mean, first of all, we got to keep it real. It wasn't 20 on 1. You know, many of the people spoke more than once. And this was not like, you know, I was disappointed because, you know, where her pedigree and who she is, you know, her knowledge base, you know, for her to have such a weak, you know, ops, you know what I'm saying, you know, in this dialogue, I thought that was weak. There are plenty of Black conservatives you could have tapped on if we wanted to get a more, you know, a deeper dialogue and debate on things. But I totally disagree that
I like to hear them though.
You can start with Candace Owens. You could have Candace Owens involved inside that dialogue. You know, there are, like I said, that there are plenty you know, they could put one of the brothers on there. I recognize he does YouTube videos, but of all the ones that are on there, there's another brother. You know, his name is Greg. I can't think of his last name, but he has a YouTube channel, very successful, Black conservative perspective. You know, I don't agree with a lot of what he says, but you know, some of what he does says I do agree with. But you know, he makes great points. You know, he could have been involved in that. You know, so I could go on and on. But like I said, the point is that, you know, just looking at going back to her, I appreciated her, not only her dialogue and her thoughts, you know, her ideas and what she shared, but just her methodology and how she was dealing with, you know, her opposition. You know, it still was in a respectful way, yet strong. You know, she most assuredly wasn't, you know, resorting to name calling, you know, because how could she? Because, you know, from what she's looking to do, according to what she says, is, you know, promote the Black community, Black love, you know, honest conversation, address systematic issues. You know, she also talks about, you know, creating a real space for discourse, hoping to plant seeds for mutual understandings. You know what I'm saying? So when you have that type of mindset, you know, you're not coming in there, you know, trying to insult people just because they have ideas or misconceptions, you know, or they're not thinking exactly like you, because some of these things, you know, are the same, could be true. You know, two things could be true, you know, simultaneously. You know, so those are my.
I want to say that I haven't heard one talking point from Candace Owens that was in any way different from the talking points made from the Black conservatives in the show. You can name one that's different.
Amen.
No, bro, please, bro.
I'm saying I haven't heard one. If you can name one, let me know.
She's made those.
Candace Owens is more articulate than anyone that was on that panel. Just in and of itself.
I agree. What he just said, Student X, you're right. She's way more articulate and way more informed than those kids. I mean, that was the problem. You had a bunch of kids. You had a bunch of kids up there talking about experiences that they really didn't have. But the talking points that they were using were the points that basically that they do make. So.
And I would add that they're all based in self-hatred, ignorant, and presupposed.
No, they're not all based in self-hatred, bro. Like, for example, we could just start with, you know, for example, you know, going to, what was one of the questions? I'm going through it right now.
Black on black crime. Let's talk about black on black crime. She talked about 80% of crime, but, you know, crime.
Yeah, we're not talking about that because I'm going to say things to that. I'm going to say I don't disagree with her point on that.
People commit crimes around the people that they're around. So in the Black community, if that's who you're around, you tend to do that stuff. Just like with white people, because it's like white people, 80% of them is basically doing the same thing, and their 80% is encompassing a way greater number. So that's why we talk about those talking points. That is a whatever, but we don't want to give too much. I can see Brother Watts in there like, hey, move it along.
And Amanda won't even. I'm saying she ain't even all. I mean, she's got academic accolades and stuff.
But I want to say one more thing. Like,
I agree.
It was a good.
Those points are so weak that it was easy to, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you know.
And let Walk. Go ahead, Walk. What you about to say, Walk?
That was using the old talking points, but a lot that show had in common was a lot of what I like what Candace did. Not Candace, but you know. I forgot her name. But how she, when they was to her off, I go through that a lot on the Focuz Up show, which y'all do.
Y'all go make it present.
Well, who did that? Did he do that himself?
Good job, young lady.
I didn't do that. Oh, it was him then. If you did it, he did it himself. Okay. So, all right. So how we talked that out. So let's pivot out to the next.
Let's get to it. Listen, okay. Let's get to it. Y'all know where that comes from? Huh?
Our savior. Go ahead.
The white savior complex? No, this is for the Democrats. This is to the Democrats. This is not black people. When it says, I will be your champion. If you are a Game of Thrones watcher and you know where that line comes from, where he said, I will be your champion, Gavin Newsom is stepping up to the plate. And in my opinion, he's a good person. He's doing a good job. That's what I better say. He's doing a good job stepping up and combating this Donald Trump guy. I know Donald Trump, in my opinion, is a disgusting MF, and he needs somebody to play his game. And Gavin Newsom said he's going to fight fire with fire. And I got some clips I want to show you that he's doing with the redistricting and the memes and the posters, things of that nature. Let me play these clips for y'all real quick. Where's the first one I want to go to? All right. Shit, where is it at? Gavin Newsom. Okay. Somebody asked him a question about the memes that he's been posting, and this was his statement.
What's going on with those posts on X that are clearly trolling the president? What? Can you just talk about that? Is that like a strategy?
I don't know. I hope it's a wake-up call to the President of the United States. I'm sort of following his example. If you've got issues with what I'm putting out, you sure as hell should have concerns about what he's putting out as president.
That's a real statement. The stuff that Donald Trump does on his Truth social media, and he put all this stuff out, and people just bite and eat off of his followers, basically. But let's talk about it. What's y'all take, or how you want to go about this? Let's start with Student X. As far as Gavin Newsom versus the guy Donald Trump, is this a good strategy? Is he the savior to the Democrats?
Well, yeah, I think in terms from a Democrat perspective, then you have to have, you have to be, definitely anti-Trump and as Trump deranged as you possibly could be, which is very easy to be today, based on, just the moves that are being made, so, and Gavin, being that California is, the second biggest, at the end of the day, if not the biggest, honestly, in terms of population, I have to look at that. But financial power, California is strong, so he's as good as any, at the end of the day, but again, I don't believe he could win, because California, has a lot of negative, type of backlash and image across the nation,
When you say win, you mean win what? And what man?
Win any type of a general election, I don't believe that can happen just based on just how overall the rest of the nation, looks at California, and then just in terms of criticisms of Gavin, they are numerous, so we could go on all day and have a show just based on the criticism of him, the high cost of living here in California, the homeless crisis, crime rates, education declines, business exodus, insurance crisis, energy and water policies, the high-speed rail, like I said, you could go on all day long. So there's a lot of fodder there, and I don't know, man. I remember interacting with Gavin real early on, when I was more involved with politics and when he was vice mayor, and you could tell that he had ambitions and whatnot, which, hey, more power to him. But at the end of the day, here we are, and I don't think there's anyone that's going to save this shit we call the United States of America. Trump might be the last president, the way this thing is going, so.
Go ahead, Bob.
Wait. Hey, believe it or not, that's why I was gone for a while. I have a visitor. It's Gavin Newsom. He got something to say. Here, put your headphones on. He's an empty suit. That's what Gavin Newsom is. Empty suit. All right, you can go now. That's it.
Prognostic, what you got to say about this?
Man, I love it when the white ruling class is divided, and when they're fighting. I think Black people benefit from that. Finally, like I said before, the Dems and Republicans flip side of the same coin, but finally, they're taking some militant, more aggressive action. I mean, they need, they need some killers, man. They, they need some Trumps. They need some hardcore MAGA people, MAGA mentality type of people. So, I mean, I think we see in California, we're starting to see something in California and in Texas, finally. So.
Yeah, you need to play that video of
that's what I think too. Agnostic.
What's that?
If Gavin Newsom would get off of script and keep it real and change, because he's like a Democratic puppet to me. He's just doing everything locky and step as what they want him to say and do. Mm-hmm. If he tried to just be original and say, give his real ideas on what should probably be done, I think he would fare better. Because he got the white man look of a presidential candidate. But it's nothing there. It's really nothing there. He's the empty suit.
Corporate
Right.
Democrat.
You gonna play that video for it, X?
Yeah, yes. So this video is a Republican state. I don't know what you call him, but you'll see the title at the bottom. But he's speaking on exactly what the Republicans are doing in Texas. He clearly lays it out and tell you exactly what it is.
This
So
is a Republican speaking.
Yes.
The underlying goal of this plan is straightforward: improve Republican political performance. Each of these newly drawn districts now trend Republican in political performance. While there's no guarantee of an electorate success, Republicans will now have an opportunity to potentially win these districts.
Wait a minute, you sure he's a Republican?
It says R Texas.
Okay, so listen. So the Republicans can get up here and just say, look, we rigging it, and this is the reason why we rigging it.
Exactly.
But the Democrats can't say anything because it's always below them. So what Newsom saying he's fighting fire with fire by mocking Trump with his own style of tweeting. I mean, I think that's fair.
And he's also fighting fire with fire because of them doing their redistricting.
If Texas redistricts,
yes,
California's going to do the same thing, and then other states are going to follow. It's just going to be a big old ball game, and you know what? That's going to be dangerous.
And not only that,
but you know what? But guess who started this? But guess who started this war? Trump started this war. Okay, it's just Trump's war.
I mean, this is nothing new. California's been making these moves for a second, including.
No, you do it every 10 years, like everybody else.
Yeah, it's
so remember when
independent redistricting. Before you say that, Mr. Floyd, yeah, Mr. Floyd, play those the black dude speaking. Play those two videos. Then we have the proper context because he's going to basically make an important argument.
Look, I authored legislation to create independent redistricting commissions for every level of government in California. I updated the Fair Maps Act when I was chair of the Elections Committee. This was an ideological struggle for me, but where I come from in LA representing Crenshaw and Slauson, when they go low, we squabble up. And they've changed the rules of the game, and we've got to meet them where they are. And that's what we did today.
So that's that. Okay. They're basically telling you, look, you know, and you know, in one of those videos, I know he was basically talking about that these were done like independently based on the numbers and the people that are in these districts, not just basically about politics, but basically making sure that
demographic
based on the census. It's based on the census.
They do it with the consensus, you know, demographic changes. So you're supposed to make it in that context, you know, in the context of fairness, blah blah blah, not explicitly so that your party win in the midterm election.
I mean, you just admitting that you just going to kill. You know, you're the foxy. I'm going into the hen house. This is who I am. That's what you're saying, right?
Exactly.
I want to hear what Student X has to say because he said it was
but this is like, look, for those of us that have been relying on sound bites and clips from the media for a long time, and this might seem like news, but when you start watching C-SPAN and you watch these live congressional hearings, you go through the records and look at the transcripts and whatnot, man, please, man, everything is transparent. There's full transparency here, period. Every single time, it's not, well, not why it's not they say every single time. I'm terms of what is being said, via the public ledger. If you look at it, people are pretty straightforward, and this is nothing new here. In regards to a Newsom, challenging Trump. He's been challenging Trump, from day one, since the first term that Trump was in office.
You don't think it's unprecedented? You have like other examples where they do this large scale
midterm
elections in the middle.
Right, in terms of whether it be redlining or what the sister was talking about in the past, or redrawing congressional districts.
I'm saying specifically redistricting during the midterm election. I don't know of any other examples of that.
There are. So I can't going through my top of my head right now and saying has it ever been done ever? I feel like it has.
It's probably been done before, but it hasn't been done in the recent past.
In order to make to win the election. Every single time we see different strategies deployed by these political parties, and so that's what I mean by nothing new. Anytime they can exploit a situation, the politicians have exploited it. The money in the campaigns. There used to be cap limits, money that could get a campaign. Those were sought and removed under Obama, and then that's when the money started flooding in at a higher rate. So there's always some sort of strategy that these politicians use to get leverage.
There's normal channels of like congressional committees. There's normal channels in which to do redistricting, and that's done every 10 years. I'm saying this is what we're making. This is something new and usual, unprecedented, or at least hasn't been done in a long time.
The question is it legal? And that's the whole thing. If it's legal,
that's really not the
question. It may not be legal. That's the
problem. Legal is never the question. This is a right or wrong, because the bottom line is they made these arguments against this, and then now they flip it when it's in there.
So we're arguing morality now? Is that what we're trying to figure out?
I guess not.
We're just arguing whether it was
I'm just saying I'm a grown ass man and know that we live, when you're dealing in business, when you're dealing in politics, you're at war. And for you to think otherwise is ridiculous. You know what I mean? And so I don't sit there and cry about my enemy.
So you don't care about. So you don't care about. Wait.
Let's
do the next. So you don't care about the American system and people getting an individual vote.
No, bro.
You just want your end result without damn democracy or anything.
Yeah, that's what it means.
We might as well be a dictatorship.
Empathy. I have all those things. You know what I mean? But then that doesn't deter me from looking at the game. Brother mentioned Game of Thrones earlier, bruh. You know what I mean? That's what we're in. We're in a Game of Thrones. You know what I mean?
The problem is
for survival. You know what I mean? There's some
people that
there's some people that go to war.
Can I say one thing, y'all? Y'all know what the big problem is? One thing that Abraham Lincoln understood, and a whole lot of people before him: a house divided cannot stand. Listen, the United States is divided, and they plan on this division, and Trump is really playing into this division. And Russia is playing into this and everything, and other people are too.
That's why they got
this is the reason why. This is why the reason why the United States will not stand, because it's just too divided. And nobody's trying to. Well, people are trying to bring some unity, but you always got some other people trying to find a way, a reason to make it your fellow citizen your enemy.
But so when you say stand, you're right. But then people just, I don't think they fully appreciate, what you said, because, we're talking about the government. The government is an organized body that's backed by this dollar, and that's the government. So that government can fall, right? It can fall, but then it doesn't diminish the fact that now, the people, they're just, they're still going to be governed, but it's not going to be in a way where a constitution is involved and those rights that we have.
Government for the people, not the people and other people, right? I'm saying that. So that's like this situation here. We're trying to say that in the society, in the government structure,
are you doing that?
You have norms. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is outside of the norm. The norm is based on the principles of like democracy, the principle of equal representation. That's supposed to be the goal when you do change and redistricting. Here, they're explicitly doing it to give themselves an upper hand. That's not supposed to be the norm in the politics. I don't know what type of government you want to have, an oppressive government or government to really be of the people and for the people and try to give you a proper representation. That's the whole purpose of congressional representation.
But I'm under no illusion that we're ever going to have that here. You see what I'm saying? So, now I can't wait to deconstruct strategies that, maybe any of you have that's going to change that reality. You know what I mean? But, what I deal with is the president and how do we manage to here and move.
Violence is not going to build. You have to build that reality by destroying those who want to not build that reality. They're taken away. That's the people. That's this move.
Everyone has that. What my strategy is? My strategy is going to be, to help, promote these divisions and have these people fight and then get the hell out the way. You know what I mean? And let them do what they need to do. You know what I mean? And then come out and
as an individual. I'm saying, but every battle, every political action has consequences. You not take into account how those consequences may negatively impact the Black community. So you want to take actions, whatever they may be, to counter that, to resist that. So to bring about more positive outcomes in the Black community.
So what I'm looking at is even beyond the black community, because that's not ever my sole concern. My concern is my family, friends, and loved ones. You know what I mean?
What type of community you live in?
You know, a lot of different,
you can call it
racial lines and whatnot in
community,
general, but they're looking at the people in general.
You can call it working class community. The majority of the black community is working class, just you know, with the color black on top. Whatever you want to call it, I'm just saying I'm fighting for greater outcomes for this group of people, and I'm fighting against people who want to decrease positive outcomes for this group of people. And that's what Texas is doing. That redistricting is doing. It's moving black people, is decreasing black people's power in Texas. It's taking away black representatives, and it's taking away areas that are majority.
It's definitely doing that. There's no disagreement.
That's impacting our power, our well-being.
He just agreed to it. So now we've established that. So that's 100% what's going on. And if you got a problem with that, the bottom line is you better show it when these midterms.
He's just saying it's legal.
They're trying to get.
I'm saying that. Look, you know, whatever your strategy is to combat it, you know, I don't believe that what the Democrats are doing is going to have any long-term, you know, impact and effect, you know, and change, you know, right now.
They're doing this because they're doing.
I'm saying from a radical perspective.
Student X, they're doing this because they're afraid of what the voters are going to do. They're gaming the system because they're afraid.
You can run, but you can't hide. You know what I mean? You know, you guys ever heard that?
I'm not talking about the Democrats. I'm talking about the Republicans. The Republicans are doing this because they're afraid of the voices of the people.
Impeachment.
Bro. They're just can't gain more power, more leverage. That's what you do in business all the time. You gain more power, more money, more leverage. You know, and that's what they're doing.
I guess we're not. I guess we're not a republic. I guess we're not a democracy. I guess we're just a dictatorship. We're just a good old white boys.
You understand more and more as this thing goes along. You're gonna find out more and more that this is not what you think it is.
Hey, I'm back like Drake. What did I miss?
A whole lot, Drake. Stop suing. Just get to make some music. Stop suing. But that having been said, look, you know, like, share, subscribe. You know, we appreciate all of you. And Mr. Kenneth Penn telling me to play
about the Smithsonian.
Oh, we're gonna go into overtime. But I want to say Kenneth Penn, he's sitting there telling me to play my game. He talking shit because he won 6 championships in a row. Man, fuck your 6 championships in a row. I'm gonna see you after this game. I'm gonna play you, bro, and I'm gonna win. We're gonna see how that's gonna play out. Anyway, so let's talk about Trump and the Smithsonian. So Smithsonian, what's going on with that Afro-agnostics? I'm gonna give you the floor.
You know, this comes out of the executive order when he first came into office. It's the same executive order that he has used to go after NPR. No more Tiny Desk. Bye-bye, Tiny Desk. PBS, the college and universities. Now he's applying it to the Smithsonian Museum, particularly the African American. This is what I don't get. People say he ain't racist. He's every example or reference he has given is like slavery is, you know, and what did he say? This is out of control. They're making slavery look bad. What should we do? Make slavery look good? Look, just look at, okay, and then take away the rhetoric real quick, just last part. Just look at what's happening, just without the rhetoric in DC, with the public spaces. He spent $610,000 to deconstruct Black Lives Matter Plaza. Took it away. That was a place where Black people met for joy. There were a lot of Black vendors there. Black businesses were there. They made money. He took that away, and now he's reinstalling the Albert Pike monument in Judiciary Square. Albert Pike, Klansman, general in the Confederate Army. He's reinstalling in Arlington Cemetery the Confederate monument, you know, then take away money and going to the Smithsonian in DC. So one thing we got to ask ourselves, if he never asked the question about the Holocaust Museum, that's in DC. He never came out of there saying, man, they make the Holocaust look so bad. What are you supposed to do? Make it look good? Man, this is not like just like obvious racism, man. I don't know what else, man. But the Black conservatives,
white people shouldn't be that way. It's not your fault. What they did, they did. You should be like, yes, what they did was ugly. I'm not about that. I'm supporting for moving forward. You shouldn't be sitting there trying to romanticize what terrible people did during terrible times. You know what I'm saying? Look, there were good things that was done. Yes, I agree. Shine a spotlight on the good, but don't pretend like the bad didn't happen. Learn from the bad that happened and be better than that. So, don't be running from the history, and definitely don't sit there and glorify people that were absolutely against all the stuff. The Confederacy, they were the enemy. How can you reconcile this?
I want to hear what Walt got to say about all this.
So, hey, when y'all ready for me, let me know.
Go ahead, Walt.
I'm saying it like I said last week. He's playing to his base. That's his base. The racists, he got to feed them something every now and then. But I mean, it's not taken away from the fact of what has transpired in history. It's like we won't see. Gonna take that out now. We're not gonna know that there was slavery and people born into slavery, generations born into slavery. So I mean, I'm just like he's in control, and this is what he's doing. He's feeding his base.
Okay, I want to say real quick, PragerU, Trump administration has adopted the PragerU on a federal level. So there is going to be in the school too. They're aiming to do that. That's their aim.
Okay. Well, one thing about feeding his base.
Slavery was federally enforced.
Yeah. Federal government we're talking about right now, Trump, he's the federal government, according to him. And number two, be careful what he feeds his base. He may feed your ass the base.
Amen. Exactly.
All right, brother student next.
Yo, so I mean, as y'all know, man, I feel like I need to adopt that term, a new moniker, the realist, bro. Just to keep it one thou wow. The thing is that what are you going to do about it? I'm not going to participate in just whining and crying and talking about the races and doing this. Okay, we see what it is. It is what it is. So what's the strategy, Black community? What it is that are you doing? What's your plan?
I got
it kind of feels like damn near just what happened to the Jews before they was led to the slaughterhouses and the gas chambers. You see what I'm saying? That is what the people was telling me. That's what the people was telling me. So it's like, okay, so what you gonna do about it? What's your strategy? And what's your plan?
Okay, I'll give you some strategy. Look, go ahead.
I got a plan.
See, this strategy, it's like they talk about DEI. Why are you complaining about DEI? Why don't you just pull yourself from your own bootstraps? Why are you concerned about the system that's against you? Why do you even care about DEI? You should just basically work harder. If you have to work harder, just do yourself. They don't basically employ this very same logic they're trying to thrust on us. So when you're attacking DEI, you're attacking the system. So you're saying that the system is the issue. That's what they're doing by DEI. So when you're talking about the strategy is to hold the system accountable, to monitor the system. And when the system's not doing what it should do, pressure the system to do what it should do.
That's a losing strategy, bro. That's a losing strategy.
It's literally the strategies that established the civil rights that we have now. You say it's a losing strategy, but if our ancestors were to see what we're doing right now,
there a counter example?
Yeah, exactly. They'd be like, brother, you guys have gone a far ways from where we are. That's just a fact.
So with that logic, why do we have what we have today then?
Because white people don't give a shit.
Talking point, man. I'm saying,
yeah, exactly.
Like even your
it's not black conservative talking point. We're asking, how we get here? So why are we here?
Because it is a conservative talking point. Because the point of conservative is they want to go back to the way it used to be.
Yeah, they want to make America great and make America how it was. That is literally Trump's motto, what he's run on, and he's doing exactly what he's promised to do. He's living up exactly. So
even your statement when you said, "What are we going to do?" You unconsciously, implicitly shifted the onus on Black people. Black people, of course, should resist oppression. We do resist oppression. You need to plug into organizations that are doing it right now. I mean, the boycott was just one example that you kind of sneer at. You know what I'm saying? There are other examples that are trying to get organizations, institutions to reinstitute DEI, things that don't make America great again, make it something that it possibly could be to open up the potential, but you're kind of sneering at that type of stuff. I mean, we know that there's a big power change that comes from social movements. But you sneer at BLM. I read off to you.
Let me ask student next a question, please.
I don't understand. You presuppose that nothing is going on. I'm done.
Go ahead, Walt.
Student next. Let me ask you a question about the Smithsonian. Do you feel what Trump is doing with the Smithsonian, is that like, what effect do you think that's going to have on us as Black people and the nation of us as Black?
But I mean, first of all, you all missed my point. Is that clearly, they're not good effects. They're not good. I'll argue that whether we get the Democrat in office or we get the Republican in office, many of the actions aren't going to be good and have not been good for so-called Black community. So that's not going to change, and that doesn't, that everything is literally the same. The way I'm looking at it,
we want to keep what we got and gain more. I'm saying the Republicans right now, the MAGA, are actively working to take away what we already have. You know what I'm saying? They've taken away the gains that we've already made.
6'5", 270. Okay. Come on, man.
And 240 now. But it's 240 now. It's 240 now.
Again, as one, I'm not the one who voted for Trump, at all, or no, not the Democrat either, So like I said, I don't have a bone to pick this fight. I don't defend Trump. I'm not defending these Democrats, in terms of, being what I would consider a true radical, these actions, I'm not going to say that don't do them, do what people think they need to do. But ultimately, I think if you really look at where this thing is going, is Trump is trying to save America, if you will. America is on a decline financially. It is a failing empire.
Do you mean he's trying to say white America?
So you could either stay on with this sinking boat, or you could go ahead and get it a lifeline and maybe join on to another boat. There's options in this situation.
Hey, student next. Let me say something. Let me say something.
I have a question.
We can't hear you, nice guy. What you say?
Gavin Newsom.
Oh, Gavin Newsom.
I was trying to give you a Kamala moment.
No, what's next? I didn't catch when you said Trump is trying to save America. Can you explain that?
Yeah, but trying to save America, brother. I mean, if anyone hasn't paid attention, America, geopolitically is being isolated. People are turning away from her. Everywhere. People don't want to be under the influence of the dollar. This is why BRICS is on the rise. This is why we have China, Russia, Iran, and other nations growing closer and closer together. This is why there is the pushback, from America on these other nations right now. It's because she's being replaced as the dominant, unilateral power inside of the world.
So you're trying to say that Trump is trying to. So United States unilateral power is diminishing, and Trump is trying to keep it to where it doesn't decrease. What you're saying?
Yeah. Trump is trying to make America great again and not allow that shift to happen. This is why when you start looking at how we attack other nations, where if they're going to be they get more sanctions.
I'm saying America's global power is based in imperialism. So you're saying Trump is trying to revigor that imperialism. He's trying to bring it back, the imperial glory. That's what you're saying. The empire. That's what he's doing. In other words, I mean, when you say save America, you mean
two schools of thought. You have some who would say that's exactly what he's doing, and then you have others that were saying is that Trump is playing this 5D chess and whatnot. Bro, what I said is I didn't vote for him. That's what I said. I voted for a third party. My actions speak loud and clear.
But you gave me a political analysis
of these politicians that are in power. Or any other party members, who are deploying, a lot of their actions and strategies right now to combat it. I just don't have a lot of faith in any of that.
Okay, I'm saying you gave me Trump's political what he's trying to politically accomplish, right? He's trying to save America.
Ultimately, it's trying to save America.
You equated that with saving the empire, the glory and the dominance of the United States, correct? That's all I'm
exactly, and building it back up because it's not that right now militarily.
So the imperial dominance, the superpower.
That's exactly what he's trying to do.
Okay. And you're for that. You're for that?
Bruh, how the hell am I for it? You know
He
what I'm
said
saying?
he said he didn't vote for
I
it.
mean, how the
So
hell
he's
has
not
that
for it.
No, he doesn't have
the
to
world,
vote for it, but I'm saying the idea.
I'm for America being stronger. I'm for America being stronger.
I'm for understanding what the facts are. What the facts are, you know what I mean? And these are what the facts are. So how does he plan on getting there? You know, is what people have to study. You know, and look at, and then how is that going to impact us along the way? And these ideas that he is promoting, you know, they're not, you know, unpopular among the masses of Americans. You know,
white Americans,
regardless of class.
It's America being great again.
Yeah. So again, so in summary, Student X doesn't necessarily support Trump's agenda as far as
it's not necessarily support, but I don't Trump any Trump's agenda.
The law does.
The only thing I would support Trump is if I find out that he is playing 5D chess and he is really trying to establish freedom, justice, and equality for all. I don't believe none of that. You know what I mean? You know, so my whole thing is I believe that, you know, that this thing is headed to some sort of a climax. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about sexual gratification.
No,
you know what I mean? I'm talking about.
He doesn't think that. The bottom line is, so in closing, Trump is a dumbass, and according to South Park, he has a very tiny. Go ahead and end the show. You supposed to.